Welcome, everyone. What a wonderful day to be an FIU Panther. My name is Jason McBain. I'm the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Brand Advancement here at FIU. Well, thank you. I'm not the one you should be woo-wooing. So, we're going to have a chance to hear from President Jessel, Athletic Director Scott Carr, and of course your new head football coach Willie Simmons here today. Thank you. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and bring up Athletic Director Scott Carr.
Well, pause up. It really is a great day to be a Panther. And I know we moved really quickly in this search, but I want you to know that there was a lot of interest. We interviewed a lot of people. And what's great is that there was one person that clearly rose to the top of our list. We're excited to be able to introduce that person to you here in just a few minutes. But I wanted to start out just thanking some people who gave a lot of time and counsel over the past 6 days, and even more, a couple of weeks for some of us, as we were working through our process. So let me just give a couple thank yous and we'll keep moving. Really want to thank Parker Executive Search and Daniel Parker and Delana Sarden for their help. Want to thank Keith Tribble and Brentwood Partners for everything that you guys did for us during the search. Thank you very much. Want to thank Kevin Kendrick, our Senior Associate Athletics Director. I want to thank Julie Berg, one of our Deputy Athletic Directors. Thank you, Julie, for everything. Want to thank Heath Glick, another Deputy Athletic Director. Thank you, Heath, for all your time. You guys don't understand the hours and the time that goes into these searches. It's not a 9-to-5 thing, okay? It's a lot, so really want to thank them. Want to thank our trustee and board chair, Roger Tovar. Really appreciate everything. And then, of course, the person who's probably ready to not have me call him anymore, at least for a couple of days, our president, Dr. Ken Jessel. Thank you so much. Dr. Jessel was extremely supportive and available for the past several weeks as we went through all of our process, and of course for the past week, been an invaluable resource for me, so I really, really appreciate that. And what we want to do is go ahead and bring Dr. Jessel up here to say a few words. So let's welcome Dr. Jessel.
Thank you, Scott, for those kind words. This was definitely a team effort, as you've already recognized so many people that were involved in this process. And good afternoon, Panthers. Good afternoon, everyone. And certainly, happy holidays to all of you. This is truly a very exciting day for FIU football, for FIU athletics, and indeed all of FIU, all of our amazing Panther family members. Today, as we welcome Coach Willie Simmons as our new head coach, we also usher in a new era for this team and our entire athletics program. I truly believe that the very, very best is yet to come for FIU football. And let me tell you that in speaking with Coach Simmons these last few days, I have found a new level of energy and excitement for what is truly possible at FIU. And as all of you know, nothing at FIU is impossible. So he has that spirit of making things happen. Of course, for all of you here, I know that you agree with me, winning on the field is a priority for our football program, and Coach Simmons is the right person for the job. But I am also very excited about Coach Simmons' focus on excellence off the field too, meaning academic excellence and the success of our student athletes as they pursue their degrees to be job ready when they graduate. And Coach Simmons has already told our team that he is expecting a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and he wants all of our players to graduate on time. So no player is left behind. And this is a mindset that aligns perfectly with FIU, unstoppable as a top 50 preeminent public research university. Every day we think about the success of our students, and that has really paid off in our rise in ranking. So Coach Simmons is fully aligned to our goals and objectives. And the good thing is he knows a thing or two about the delicate balance between athletics and academic performance. He actually graduated from his alma mater, Clemson University, in 3 years. 3 years. And he was the first football player to achieve that milestone. I am so delighted that Coach Simmons is now part of our Panther family. His excitement, his optimism, his inspiration are truly the foundation for our football team program. And I can't wait to see his skills and his experiences reflected in our players on the field and off the field. Willie Simmons is the right person. He is the right coach to lead FIU football to a new level of success and excellence. Coach Simmons, and to your entire family, welcome to the Panther Nation, and paws up, Panthers, paws up. And now I am honored to bring back up to the podium our AD, Scott Carr.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Jessel. Just to kind of introduce our new football coach, I want to share a few things with you. As you all have heard me say before, my number one priority is and always will be to our student athletes. I met with the team last Sunday to talk to them about what they wanted me to look for in their next head coach. And based on their feedback, there were 4 main criteria that we were really looking for. They wanted a winner, someone who could recruit Florida, especially South Florida, someone who is a relationship builder and could establish deep, authentic relationships with them, and someone who could excite and ignite the South Florida community and Panther Nation. And I'm happy to tell you, we found our leader who checked all 4 boxes, and so many more I can't even count. First and foremost, Willie Simmons is a winner. I want you to pay attention to a few of these stats here that we have, okay? First of all, he's been a head coach for 9 seasons and had a winning record every year. I want that to sink in for a second. A winning record every single year he's been a head coach. I'm not sure how you do that, but I'm glad that he's our head coach, okay? He's a 3-time HBCU national champion, 2 as a head coach and 1 as assistant coach. Knows how to win championships. His career head coaching record, 66-24. I didn't graduate in 3 years, but I got the percentage here, Mr. President. That's a 73% winning percentage. In conference games, if you just take conference games, 53-11. That's an 83% winning percentage. And in case you're not sure, it's really hard to win in football, and winning 83% of your games is outstanding, okay? In the 3 seasons before he arrived at Prairie View A&M, they were 14-19, which is a 42% winning percentage when he got there. In the 3 seasons he was there, he went 22-11, a 67% winning percentage. The 5 seasons prior to his arrival at FAMU, they were 14-43, 25% winning percentage. The 5 years that he coached there, they were 45-13, 78% winning percentage, okay? And last year, his final year as the head coach there, they ended up going, it was 12-1, right? 12-1, and they finished 5th in the top 25 rankings, finished number 5 in the country in their division, okay? If you need more stats about how he's a winner, I can get you some more, but I'm going to stop there for the sake of time, okay? He's a winner. Willie Simmons can recruit Florida and South Florida. He has deep ties and relationships with people to have success in that area. Willie Simmons' strength is his natural ability to build deep, genuine relationships. It was something that really stood out when I was making a lot of phone calls during the search process. And when I'd get somebody on the phone and just say, tell me about Willie Simmons, without a doubt, the first thing they would tell me is about the relationships and how much the young men that play football for him love him and appreciate the way that he treats them and the way he talks to them, his honesty, and just how he's so genuine. So he checked that box in a huge way. And as we can see from the past 48 hours, I think, how long has it been since we offered you the job? Past 48 hours or so, right? As we've seen and as we're seeing here today, he's already ignited and excited the community and Panther Nation. Again, checked all 4 of those boxes in a big way, plus so many others. So we know that we have the right coach for our future. Now we need Panther Nation to step up and support Coach Simmons and support our football program. The landscape of intercollegiate athletics is rapidly changing, and financial support is needed now more than ever. Beginning on July 1st, schools are going to be allowed to share up to $20.5 million with their student athletes. $20.5 million is what schools are going to be allowed to start sharing with their student athletes. We need our more than 300,000 Panther alumni that love FIU to step up and purchase season tickets, donate to the Panther Club, help support our NIL collective, the Blueprint Collective, so that we can win games and have a successful program that we all want. So Panther Nation, we need you. We need your support. Now, it is my honor to formally introduce the 7th head coach in FIU history, your head football coach, Willie Simmons.
Oh, pause up. It's an amazing day. Words can't describe how excited my wife Shay and I are to be here today. All I can say is God is good. Before I do anything, there's some individuals that I'd like to thank throughout this process that I've got an opportunity to meet. First off, as you heard from Dr. Jessel, our president, and with that speech, Doctor, I might let you get a first pregame speech. That was pretty exciting. It got me fired up. And his entire leadership team, thank you for your support of these student athletes, for these students at this university, and with your help, we're going to continue to achieve higher heights. To my new boss, A.D. Carr, his wife, thank you guys so much for believing in me through this process. It moved quickly, but it didn't. That night before was felt like forever. But just so thankful to be here today and look forward to getting to work. And his entire leadership team, I look forward to working with you guys to provide the best experience for our student athletes. To the Board of Trustees and Chair Tovar and Vice Chair Duarte, again, look forward to continuing to work with you guys to build the type of program that you want to see. To the Parker Search Firm, thank you to Daniel and Delana for, again, just trusting me through this process. Again, searches are a lot, and it takes hard work and dedication to be identified as a candidate. And I'm thankful to the Parker Search Firm for believing in me. To the 300,000+ Panther alum across South Florida and across the United States, thank you for supporting FIU, for being a part of FIU, and with your help, we're going to continue to achieve, like Dr. Justice said, the impossible. To the current and future team, thank you guys. I had a chance to meet the team Saturday. They're excited, they're fired up, and they're ready to get to work to bring a championship to the 305, and they're committed to doing that. To my family, as you probably read in the bio, we have a large family, 6 kids. The 3 little ones are here. The youngest one is already asleep, so need to get her some Cuban coffee too. But to the 3 older ones that couldn't make it, Lewis, Amory, and Raven, thank you guys for just loving on me as your dad. And again, just look forward to getting you down here to the beach and letting you have a good time. And to the 3 little ones, Shiloh, Raylan, AKA Champ, and Truth, I love you guys. And last but not least, I'm the head coach of FIU football, but I have a head coach myself. And I want to thank my backbone, my #1 supporter, my biggest cheerleader, the one who sits up late at night and wants to watch the game film as soon as I get home after a big game, my rock, my beautiful wife of 10+ years, Willie Simmons. Thank you, babe, for holding the fort down. Coaching takes up a lot of my time, and our beautiful children wouldn't be who they are today without you. So thank you so much for everything that you do. The FIU vision statement, it says, Florida International University will achieve exceptional student-centered learning and upward economic mobility, produce meaningful research and create activities, and lead transformative innovations locally and globally, resulting in recognition as a top 30 public university. Well, as a football team, we have our own vision statement that mirrors the university's vision statement. And that vision is FIU football will achieve exceptional student-athlete-centered learning and national exposure, produce meaningful experiences and leaders of tomorrow, resulting in championships and recognition as a top 25 football program. With the help of the coaching and support staff that we'll put together, we're ready to build on the history and the tradition of this program. We want to build on the 2010 first ever bowl win and conference championship. We want to build on the 2011 win over Louisville. We want to build over those teams, with those teams having future NFL players, T.Y. Hilton, Jonathan Cyprian, and of course our very own current coach, Anthony Gator. We want to build on the 3 consecutive bowl games from 2017 to 2019. And of course, we want to build on the 2019 victory over the University of Miami. And we're committed to continuing to produce NFL players who can ignite the entire country like Jonnu Smith did last night on that game-winning touchdown. So what should you expect from this FIU football team? Well, as Dr. Jessel alluded to, I graduated in 3 years with a marketing degree. So I'm all about branding. And so what will this football team look like? And to me, it's going to be a product of our core values. And there's 7 words that we will live by that you will see every time this football team takes the field. That first thing is faith. Faith in, first of all, a higher power. to understand that this is bigger than all of us. Faith in this coaching staff, this support staff, our university leadership, that we're going to do everything in our power to put them in the best possible positions daily to be successful. Faith in their teammates to know that that man to the left and to the right of them wants them to achieve their goals just like they want to achieve their own. And we're going to work tirelessly to make sure that we're all successful. We won't be individuals. We will be a true team that plays for the man next to us. And then last but not least, faith in ourselves, to know that through preparation, through hard work, through commitment and sacrifice, that we will be prepared in any endeavor that we take on, not just on the football field, but in the classroom, in this community, and on in life. The next word we'll live by is fundamentals. And that's simply saying that we will have the best habits around. Those championship habits that we have daily will be what brings us championships to Pitbull Stadium. Everything that we do will be about championship habits. How we show up to class, how we interact with our fellow students, how we treat each other, how we speak. Everything about us will be a champion, and that will bring us success. The next word is fast. We will be a fast football team. We are blessed to be in the fastest region in the world for high school football talent. And one thing we can do is we can find speed in South Florida. So we will be the fastest football team on the field every Saturday. But when we talk about fast, it's not just about our tempo. It's about sacrifice. We will be a team willing to sacrifice those things that prohibit us from being our very best selves. It takes a full-time commitment to be a champion. And through our discipline, through our sacrifice, we will realize our goals. The next word is fight. We will be a team that knows how to overcome adversity. Being a college athlete is hard, extremely hard in today's climate. They're being pulled in so many directions. Personally, outside, you name it, they're being pulled. Adversity will hit this football team. It's hit some already. We have some individuals that we have to bring back into the fold here pretty quickly because the transfer portal opened today. And so we're going to be a team that's willing to do hard things. And one of the hardest things to do is take on adversity every day and be committed to beating it. The next word is finish. We will be a team that finishes everything that we start. We will finish plays, we will finish drives, we will finish halves, and we will finish football games. We will finish seasons, and we will finish the things off the field that we have to do. We will finish in the classroom. That 3.0 commitment is a mandate for this football team. And it takes every single individual on that football team to realize that goal. And so I challenged the team the other day. That guy that's sitting there going through finals right now with an 88, we're not going to settle for that 88. If we have to turn in one more paper, if we have to do one more assignment, one more extra credit assignment to get that A, we're going to be committed to doing that. Because every little thing matters, and we're going to be masters of the details. We will master the little things. The next word is fun. This will be a fun football team. This will be a fun team to watch, an exciting team to watch. We will play with a level of enthusiasm that's unmatched by our competition. To be great at anything, there has to be a genuine passion for what you do. And the passion that we have as a football team will be infectious. You will want to support these young men when you come in contact with them because that infectious spirit will jump on you every single time you meet them. And then last but not least, we will be a family. We will be the closest, most connected football team in America. And that will include everyone who calls himself a Panther. We need to be close. We want to see you at Pitbull Stadium. We want you to interact with our young men. We don't want them to feel ostracized when they walk through campus as football players. They are students at a top 50 public institution nationally, and we want to make sure that they feel that love and admiration everywhere they go. And they will be entrenched into this community, into this environment. So we look forward to setting the foundation starting now and making sure that everyone sees the fruits of our labor. We have some lofty team goals here. and we talked to the team about that on Saturday. Our first goal is to win a national championship. We have a goal as a football team to win a national championship. The next goal is to make the college football playoff as a top G5 program. In order to do that, we have to be the highest ranked G5 school in the country. We have a goal to win the Conference USA Championship and host it right here in Pitbull Stadium. Of course, it goes without saying that a goal is to have a winning record, of course, every single year. A goal to be undefeated here at Pitbull Stadium. We will take pride in playing here in the 305, and everyone who steps into this field will know that we don't lose at home. We talked about the goal of a team GPA over 3.0. We want to graduate all of our student athletes in no more than 4.5 years, preferably 4. And then last but not least, we have a goal to beat that little school just up the road down there in Boca every single year. FIU has 5 core values. The first one being truth, then freedom, respect, responsibility, and then last but not least, excellence. So I want to briefly touch on that last core value of excellence. I just read off our list of goals. Goals speak to success. We tend to base our success off achieving the goals that we set out for ourselves. But that won't be our primary focus here at FIU. Our focus here will be excellence. And there's a distinct difference between success and excellence. You can be successful without being excellent, but you can't be excellent without being successful. Successful without being excellent, sorry. So, how do we become excellent? We become excellent by focusing on the total development of our student athletes. We want to develop our student athletes spiritually to make sure that they're connected with themselves and again, with the higher power. We want to develop our student athletes academically by providing all the resources for them to achieve all of their goals and aspirations in the classroom and once they leave here to go out into the real world. We want to be excellent athletically with our development in the weight room, with our nutrition, with our strength and conditioning program, with everything that we do, with the way we practice and the way we play. We're going to develop our student athletes physically. We want to develop them mentally to make sure that we're the most mentally fit team in the country, that we can take on any challenge. Again, any adversity that comes our way, we will be prepared for it. And then last but not least, we want to develop our young men socially. Again, we want to prepare them for the real world. We want them to step out boldly and proudly, representing Florida International University when they go on that first job interview. We want them to exude the same level of confidence that I exuded to Scott and President Jessup throughout the interview process. And you're confident when you know that you're prepared. And we want to make sure that we prepare our young men for success. We want to be excellent in the makeup of our staff. We will have a shared philosophy of complete student-athlete development. Everyone that touches these young men will be committed to their personal growth and development. We will be diverse in our experiences, in our backgrounds, our knowledge of football. We will not be a monolithic staff. We will have guys with different ideas who can bring experiences to this football team that's going to make us achieve our goals. And we'll be excellent with our familiarity of South Florida in the recruitment of prospective student athletes in the 305 and beyond. We'll be excellent in the recruitment of student athletes. One, committed to winning South Florida recruiting. A relentless mindset, and then last but not least, relationship building. And we will be excellent in the retention of current and future Panthers. Now, that I've read off our goals and our visions for this program, what are my expectations of you all in Panther Nation? One, I expect your physical support. The way you showed up today for this press conference, I expect you to show up for our student athletes. I expect to see your faces at football games. I expect to see you at signing day events. We expect to see you every time we put on an event for this football program. I expect to see your faces. I expect you to buy season tickets. I think they're already on sale. Okay? FIUathletics.com. FIUathletics.com. Buy your season tickets. I expect you to join the Panther Club to be able to support these student athletes the way that they deserve. And then last but not least, I expect you to donate to our NIL collective. Okay, that's very important. In this ever-changing landscape of collegiate athletics, NIL is more important than ever. Okay? And so we got to make sure that we provide all of the resources that our student athletes need to be successful. That's my expectation for Panther Nation. And last but not least, I expect your moral support. I expect to drive down the highway and see FIU flags hanging off the cars. I expect you to talk positively about this university, about this athletic department, and about this football team. When you're in the barber shop, or you're in the hair salon, or you're getting your Cuban coffee, or smoking your Cuban cigar, I expect you to talk positively about this program. Now, in closing, I know there's some who say, Coach, you read off some pretty lofty goals. Really? National championship? Is that possible? Top 25? Is that possible? How? So there are some today that will wait to see if we can put our money where our mouth is. But I ask you a question. How can an institution that's just over 50 years old be a top 50 public institution nationally? Anything is possible. Do not doubt the power and the spirit of an FIU Panther. We will get this done. We will achieve new heights that many who support FIU football never thought possible. Just like 50 years ago, no one would ever thought possible that we have over 56,000 students, 300,000 plus living alumni, and being a top 50 institution. Just like Dr. Jessel and those before him have blazed the trail to get us to this place academically, I look forward to blazing the trail again to bring new level of success and excellence to the 305. I thank you guys so much. I look forward to going to work with you. Pause up.
All right, well, I'm fired up. So. At this time, we're going to open it up for questioning. So if I could have Scott Carr, Willie Simmons, and President Jessel please come back. We have some microphones that are running, so please just raise your hand and identify who you'd like to ask the question of and your affiliation, and we'll go ahead and get that started right now.
Hi, I'm Walter Villa from the Miami Herald. This question for Coach Simmons. I know you're a North Florida guy, Tallahassee guy. What's been your experience in South Florida? Maybe there's a story about you recruiting this area that we know has a lot of talent.
Well, of course, growing up in Florida, you cannot play high school football without knowing about South Florida football. Most of the state championships run through South Florida. And so we've known our entire lives how talented this region is. So there's a reason that when you walk into school down here in South Florida, you see schools from all over the country. So we know that we have to start our recruitment right here in Miami and then branch out from there. So when I was named the head coach at Florida A&M, the very first call I made was to Billy Rowe, who's a legendary high school coach here, who's the only coach in the history of the state of Florida to win state championships at 3 different schools. I tried to hire another coach. Some things happened that didn't make that possible. But again, my commitment to even being at Florida A&M was to make sure that we won Miami recruiting. In my last year at FAMU, of 120 players, 45 were from South Florida. And so again, we're committed to winning recruiting here. I've already started to make phone calls to head coaches here in the region, many that I know that I've recruited their schools before. And again, there's a total commitment from this staff to make sure that there's a player here in the 305, the 954, Palm Beach County, that FIU will be a serious consideration for them. And we look forward to getting them on campus.
Right here, Kevin Burrell, Sports Illustrated coach. Just talk about the process. You've been in it many times before. What stood out about FIU, and at what point did you think this was going to be your job?
Well, the first thing you look for whenever you consider a job is the potential to win. And as we all know, recruitment is the number one thing in recruiting, right? I like to think I'm a good coach. You know, Scott read off some lofty stats in my winning percentage. I didn't do that with untalented football teams. And so to acquire talent is our number one priority. And so when you look at a school like FIU that sits in the heart of Miami, that I can get in my car and drive 2 hours in either direction to find talent, it made it very attractive. And then you look at the academic prowess of this place. I've been blessed to work at some phenomenal academic institutions. Florida A&M, of course, just coming from Duke University. Again, whenever you can go into a home and sell to a parent that their sons will get an education from a top 100 national institution, that's worth the weight in gold. And so again, there were so many things that made this place attractive, let alone the fact that we hate cold weather, so.
Coach Simmons, Jake Gibson, Pause Up Podcast. Talk a bit about some of the opponents next season, including a trip to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. You, of course, mentioned FAU, as well as a UConn team that is going bowling this season. And talk a bit about Conference USA and how that's changing with the additions of Delaware, Missouri State. Will likely be taking on Jacksonville State, who just won Conference USA.
Well, no disrespect. Our focus is Florida International. And one thing that we did this past season at Duke that really helped us get to the place that program is at right now is there is no opponent. There is no opponent. We call them dragons. They're all the same. Every day, our opponent will be ourselves. How we compete with ourselves, that voice in our head that tells us that today you don't have to give it your all, or that what I have going on outside of football takes precedent, or that I'm tired, or that I'm not playing as much. That's our opponent. Our pursuit of excellence will be geared by our ability to drown out all the outside noise. It does not matter who rolls in the Pitbull Stadium. It does not matter what we get on the plane and fly to or drive to play a football game. We win the inner battle with ourselves. The rest takes care of itself. So not worried about any other institution. Look forward to getting to work with the Panthers.
All right, this question's for Scott. Scott, at what point did you believe that Willie Simmons would be your guy? And just talk about maybe what you learned about yourself and the university as you made other calls and, you know, just went through this search.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've known Coach Simmons for a while, for many years, and a person I respect always had him very high on their list. And so he's somebody that I knew a lot about already. So going into the search, I knew he was somebody that I wanted to make sure we had in our mix, and thankfully he was on board as well to be in the mix here. And so then for me, from there, really, it was just I got a chance to talk to a lot of people that, and what was really amazing to me is there was a lot of people that have high respect for Coach Simmons, and they may not have worked directly with him at an institution. They've just gotten to know him through different, whether it be events or different times, people have introduced him to them, and to a person, they all said the exact same thing about him, right? And that's when you know that somebody's the right person for you, right? So it ended up becoming just really clear for us as we were going through the process that Willie Simmons was going to be the right person for FIU at this time. And just, again, knew that he was a winner, great person, and couldn't have been more excited to be able to get him on board to be the next coach.
Question for Coach. In your previous stops as a head coach, how many assistant coaches did you retain from those staffs? Is it important for the transition? And how long would it take you to build a staff here, and do you plan to retain coaches already on staff?
Okay, first thing, the next question is going to Dr. Jessel. We're not going to have him standing up here without getting asked a question. So But of course, hiring a staff is the first thing, obviously, after meeting the team that a head coach has to do. And what you look for, one, are individuals that share your philosophy of total player development, like we talked about. And so I look forward to meeting with every coach that's currently on the staff. I had a chance to visit with them on Saturday, and we'll have meetings throughout the week. To some I know, some I have prior knowledge of. But again, just making sure it's the right fit. And aside from, again, that shared philosophy is knowledge and experience recruiting South Florida. That's one of the most important aspects, going through this search, talking to Scott, of what they were looking for. The ability to recruit South Florida is something that's at the top of the list for me. So again, every new job is difficult because it's people's lives we're talking about. And so we have to make some very tough decisions at times. I've retained coaches everywhere I've gone, and I've brought in new coaches everywhere I've gone. So unfortunately, that's the downside of the profession, is that we have to make those tough decisions. But again, we will put a phenomenal staff here together to support these young men. And some will be some familiar faces. There are already a couple of coaches that I've had talks with here to look forward to keeping, but there may possibly be more as well. Come on, Doc. Make up one if you ain't got one. Ask him what he's doing for his Christmas party or something like that.
President Jessel, there we go.
Yes, let me answer that question for you. Look, the reality is I am not a coach, I am not an athletic director. But what was important to me was talking to someone that would bring out the best in every athlete, the best in the program, and the best for FIU. Being number one in the classroom, being number one on the field, being number one on the court, being number one in the pool are not mutually exclusive. Our athletes are among the best and the brightest of our university, and I wanted someone that was going to be true to that commitment. So I already knew when I talked to him what his academic success was, and he convinced me that his success applies to academics, it applies to athletics, it applies to this university, and day in and day out, he's going to be focusing on what it means to be an FIU Panther.